So Huda from Love Island says she likes her men obsessed, while Ace says the men should play it cool. And as someone who helps you understand the actual consequences of the dating advice that you might be taking from TikTok, looking at this dynamic that has blown up Love Island can be helpful. Because on one end, it sounds good, right, in this social political climate, to have a man that's actually obsessed with you. But is that a trap? In the words of Justin Bieber, it is not clocking to some people that their men hate them. There are women on here trying to get Coach purses at 500,000 likes or something like that. People who have to be bribed by social media engagement to propose to their women. So the idea of being with a man who might be obsessed with you, as many commenters are advising these women to seek out, that might be the opposite of that, right? Well, it depends. So it's been a couple episodes since the disastrous crash out of Huda and Jeremiah, and she has managed to survive way more episodes than any of us expected. She has had the chance to form a new connection and stay on the show after breaking up with her day one Jeremiah. And in the last few episodes, we've had the chance to hear a little bit more about her dating philosophy, especially as she sets her eyes on other men, and as her number one enemy, Ace, has critiqued her moves. Adding to the drama is that this discourse is happening with the backdrop of a very rich white New York City housewife, who I will not be naming, who has been known for giving her advice on how to get princess treatment from your wealthy husband. As none of us are in any of these relationships or in anyone's marriage, I give the caveat that we don't really know anything. But when somebody comes online and gives lots of advice and lots of examples about their marriage and talks about the philosophies that guide their life, and you start to hear troubling patterns that might lend you to think that maybe they are locked in a tower as a princess and not necessarily being taken care of in the way that they've purported to be, that can cause some questions. So where's the danger? What's the line that you have to watch for between being treated like you're nothing and being treated like an object that's put on a mantle in some man's home? Let's start where this can actually help you. Huda has a point in that there is some wisdom and goodness in seeking out a man that really actually likes you. There is value and protection when you as an individual are deeply convinced that you're worthy, that you're attractive, and that someone should be happy to be around you. There's nothing wrong with the fact that Jeremiah met her and wanted to focus on her. I actually find it concerning that Ace, who has been partnered with both Amaya and Shelly at different points, treats the women as if they should be chasing him, and like he's not going to let them know how much he's really into them. There's nothing wrong with playing it cool, but playing it cool all the time, are you comfortable with being vulnerable? Why are you encouraging all the other men to do the same? Now, some of this is gameplay, right? You want to be at the end winning that $100,000. You don't want people to lock in and sweep that for you, right? But some of this overlaps with the kind of red pill content that we assume is only affecting the most extreme type of incel men. If we think this kind of content is not shaping or inspiring the men around us, we are kidding ourselves. This is in part fueling what we see online with this idea of men having to be obsessed with you. It's a bit of a pushback to this rhetoric that's being spewed. I think that pushback is good, but we need to qualify what we mean by them being obsessed with you. We need to qualify the obsession itself. Is the guy truly interested in you as a cool person or in you as a social status marker for himself? Knowing the difference is key. We watch Ace get really close to this line where he keeps the women on edge, he gives them a bone and then takes it back with a joke, destabilizes them constantly. I understand Amaya here has lost some fans because people have seen her effusive, bubbly, attaching behavior, and that's been a turnoff for them. But prior to us getting episodes of that, this woman was just excited, and she had been coupled up with Ace. He had chosen her for a couple, and he made sure to give some devastating remark that deflated her. There was no need to rebuff her like that right after the recoupling. But under the guise of transparency, he made sure she felt a bit insecure in their connection. Huda's inability to deal with Ace's type of push and pull, it's rooted in dysfunction and in a kind of wisdom. From a savvy social political standpoint, this can protect you from staying with insecure men. Ones who have to break you down, neg you, deflate you to protect their own ego. It can also keep you from nice guys who don't necessarily break you down, but they keep you on the tenor hooks just so you never get too comfortable with yourself. This prevents them from, again, having to be vulnerable with you. Ace from the beginning had issues with the way Jeremiah pursued Huda because it goes against his no simp gospel that he has been spreading to the men every chance he gets. We can't deny that Ace has a point. Locking in too fast in this kind of competition can sink you. But this also reminds us that no matter how much feminism has saturated mass media, there's this idea that still won't go away. And that idea is that women are relatively interchangeable or disposable. They have the same special cool parts, but they can be dealt with one set formula. We aren't always individual humans to know there are a subcategory of people that can be managed. You can always cut your loss and move on to another one. There was a really disturbing conversation about how Sierra was upset because Nick was more open than she thought he would be after they had had an intimate moment together. And the men are just essentially going, women. Now, the same could be said about how TikTok advice is telling you to approach men, not as individuals, not as humans who are capable of equal emotional accountability with you. The goodness of a man cannot be boiled down to a financial position or a gym look. Rich men aren't automatically generous ones. Men who are all over you in the first 2 days aren't necessarily people who know how to keep a commitment. This has a point that Huda's way of testing Jeremiah is unhealthy and unreasonable. It blinds her to who he actually might be. In some ways, it's easier to judge a man based on how quickly he can bring the breakfast or how well the pancakes cook, rather than digging into some other character issues. Do they share overarching goals about what the point of a partnership even is? She over-policed small human errors while overlooking the ways he was increasing intimacy while still being open to another relationship. Now, I very intentionally said that this mindset can help you stay away from people who want to break you down. I didn't say it could shield you from them, because we all know something about shiny, confident, strong women. People are attracted to them. All people are attracted to them. And some men see those women and they see a challenge. Being able to get you, being able to change you, being able to humble you, that feeds them. You're not off the table because you're confident. This kind of attitude doesn't protect you from those people showing up. Women are increasingly being socialized to build the lives they want to lead, financially, politically, socially. This kind of freedom was impossible a couple decades ago. But men, and even the ones on Love Island, even the ones that were born in 2000, are not necessarily always socialized to not equate that as a threat to them and their sense of self. They don't always see that as an advantage to the union, especially if they have not questioned how they frame masculinity. And if they frame masculinity as a form of dominance and hierarchy, this is not going to work. They think they want this, but they actually don't have the emotional or social tools to handle that. Now, let's look at the dysfunctional end of what Huda is saying she believes in. You can't always tell if a man has the kind of substance or character that is actually going to be good for a long-term relationship just because he's obsessed with you. And I'm sure she would probably agree about that if we sat down and we talked. We can't tell if someone's going to be a good partner just because they lavish attention on us. We can't tell if a sparky man is just a narcissist who's really good at mirroring you. Men who move super fast might just be trying to control your access to information and get you locked down before you can actually do anything about the information they know you will inevitably find out. They might even subconsciously be competing with you. They could be obsessed with you because they do see you as someone who makes them look good, but you have all the attributes that they wish they had themselves. Again, it's not hard for people to be obsessed with fabulous, intelligent, strong, confident, beautiful women. It doesn't mean anything that men are obsessed with you. Of course they are. And sometimes they're obsessed with you because they are obsessed with themselves. You might be aware that Ariana Madix, who is hosting Love Island USA, actually comes from another show called Vanderpump Rules. And on this show, we have this couple, Jax and Brittany. And Jax is being called out as someone who could potentially be a family annihilator. Family annihilators are men who are so obsessed with themselves and their image and their family's image and what that is saying to other people that they would rather take everyone out in their family than live with the discomfort of that. According to the Department of Justice, if you look at the numbers from 1998 to 2002, 11% of all violent crime that was reported happened to be family violence. 3/4 of the victims were women and 3/4 of the perpetrators were men. Ideas about manhood, wherever you get them, have the potential to protect women or annihilate them. A desire to create a beautiful family and lavish the wife and children with gifts and luxury does not always have to do with male protection. It can just be about male projection. Character, commitment, fidelity, and a slow burn, they matter. How people treat people who can't do anything for them is a far better indicator of how you will be treated. And it matters that you are cherished. It matters that you are taken care of and protected in a relationship, of course. But it's not the beginning and end of any love story. Right now and tonight, we're watching this calm and happy Huda flirt and engage with new men. She seems to have apologized. She seems to have moved on, but we understand it's right now because she's not triggered. not based on this internal sense of self-worth that is not rattled by male abandonment. As we keep looking at the messages that mass media sends us, I hope we can stay critical of the ways some messages that seem empowering may not have the full story.